Hello, and welcome back to part 13 of this Tekkit tutorial series. Today we're going to be looking at how to make nuclear reactors, how to set them up, keep them cool, stop them from exploding, and I'll even show you one exploding, just for the fun. So, we're going to make some integrated reactor platings. You'll need to make 8 of these, as you'll need to make 2 reactor cores. Reactor cores. So you'll need 4 lots of 8 copper bars, and 8 advanced alloys. And next we'll need to use a couple of these integrated reactor platings to make some integrated heat dispersers, which is a couple of coolant cells, a couple of copper, and an advanced circuit. The coolant cells are made by extracting a water cell, which is an empty cell with some water, and an advanced circuit is 4 redstone in the corners, 2 lapis, 2 glowstone, and an electronic circuit. So next we're going to make some reactor chambers. You'll need to make 2 of these. So you'll need some advanced alloys in the corners, some integrated reactor platings on the sides and the bottom, a machine block in the middle, and an integrated heat disperser. Now I will say that you'll need an additional 6 of these if you want to make a reactor to run at full power, because it'll give you more spaces. But otherwise, just stick with 2 and just make a basic nuclear reactor. So to make a nuclear reactor, which is the core of it, you'll need 4 more advanced alloys in the corners, 2 reactor chambers in the sides, generator in the middle, and 2 more advanced circuits. So next we're going to make some special cables, which is just for the nuclear reactors. They don't transfer electricity very far, because it runs out fairly quickly, but it's the only way you can get power from a reactor to an MFSU. So we'll make some insulated cables, which are insulated HV cables. You get 4 of these if you put 4 rubber in a diamond and put a refined iron in the middle. And then we're going to upgrade this to 2 times insulated HV cable, which is just adding more rubber, and we'll go to 4 times insulated HV cable, which is 2 times with more rubber, and you'll get some 4 times insulated cable. Now, nuclear reactors have a tendency to explode. So a way to prevent this, or at least reduce the effects if it does happen to you, is to surround it in reinforced glass. Now you just create an I shape or a H if you do it the other way around, and then fill the gaps with some advanced alloys and you'll get some reinforced glass. Now it's like blast protection glass. Now you can also get reinforced stone, which is smelted copper stone with an advanced alloy in the middle, so you get some smooth stone and then you get 8 reinforced stone. And then you can make a door if you just put it in some reinforced stone in a door shape. Now the next thing we'll need is some fuel. So we'll get this refined uranium, and to get that you have to compress some uranium ore, and that'll get some refined uranium. Looks a bit like an ingot, so it's pretty handy. Now to make a uranium cell, which is the power for the reactor, you need to take an empty cell, which is 4 tin in a diamond, and then you refined uranium, and this will get you your uranium cell. Now, this is really handy. So now I'm going to show you how to set this up. So I'm going to head over to my testing ground to show you this. So I'll catch you there. Now that we're here at the testing ground, what you do is you can place your nuclear reactor down, and as you can see you get your little inventory slots here. But to make this better and more efficient, and well, not more efficient but better, you put nuclear reactor cores, not nuclear, reactor cores around the outside of it. So now if you right click it, you'll see that you get this massive, well not massive, but a lot bigger of an area. And with a HV cable you can't right click directly on them, not even shift click, it won't do anything. So you have to click on the floor and just drag them off this way. And we'll stick it on MFSU. Now I'm going to show you a simple demonstration, just to show you how much power is produced, you know, stuff like that. So you'll need coolant cells, like so, and this is just a very basic thing. I mean, you could do this all the way around. It's not the most effective, but it still produces energy. There's nothing to lose. So you whack that in there, and as you can hear the redometer ticking away. I think it's called a redometer. And then if we look inside here, boom, look at that power, brilliant. That's only with 1 uranium cell. Go away, sheep. Sheep? It's a pig. Definitely a pig. Get away. So, there are other things like integrated heat dispersers, which I'm going to explain in a bit when I get to show you my setup, which is away in my nuclear reactor. But for the meantime, let me show you what happens if you overheat. Now the first thing that you'll notice is that your MFSU will explode. That's the first thing that will happen. So if we just whack a few things and boom, right, that's the first one. Now stage 2 is the ground will catch on fire. Some blocks will turn to lava, and this is generally bad. Now if we just let this overheat a little bit. Come on, come on. As you can see, this is a crater from earlier. There you go. Some of it's turned to lava, and there's the explosion. Now, as you can see, it is devastating. You do not want this to happen to your base, as there goes all your machines, your life, your livestock, pretty much everything. So I'm going to head over to my nuclear reactor, and I'll catch you there, and I'll explain a bit more. So, you can see here, this is my base, and just to show you some of the precautions that I have taken to avoid this exploding, we have to go down to the bottom of the world. Now I've built this at 10 depth, so like 10 blocks up from bedrock, and just a bit above it I've got this MFSU power supply plant, which is going to collect all my power and then it transmits it up to the surface. But just a bit further down we've got the nuclear reactor. Now it's an obsidian coated room with the nuclear reactor and cores in the middle, encased in fortified glass, covered in water. Now the water actually helps keep it cool. I don't know by how much, but it does. Now this is a Mark 1 setup. It's the most safe way that you can do it. There's various Mark 1s, but I like this one because it's a fancy pattern and it looks nice. But I think there's a 0.5% chance that it'll overheat and explode. So I would much rather have less output, more safety, all the time. I would not go for a Mark 6 setup where it's just like one coolant cell, one uranium, one coolant cell, and then that's it, just everywhere. Just in like a checkered pattern. But as you can see, I've got integrated heat dispersers here as well. Now these disperse heat from hot coolant cells to cooler coolant cells. So for example, as you can see here, this one is hot because it's got a durability bar, and this one is cold. So if there was a heat dispersant bar here, it would transfer the heat from, say, these two to this one. That's all it does. If these get too hot and the durability goes to red and runs out, they'll just break. And once these break, your reactor will start to overheat, and then eventually it will go boom. So if you want to copy this, feel free. But I'm sure there's other setups elsewhere. But this is by far my favourite, and it's just generally nice. And as you can see, I've got my fortified door here. So if you've been watching my tutorials, you'll know that last episode I made some oil refineries and some oil fabricators and such. But since then I had a change of heart and I didn't like them on the roof. So up on the roof I added more tanks, and I moved the refinery down next to it. Now you can see some different these weird pipes here, but I'll explain them in a second. But as you can see, I've got oil coming out from the wall into the back of these. I've got this switch here which turns on these redstone engines down here to pump out the fuel. And these pipes here with the little blue bar inside them basically replace the steam engine that I originally had underneath it. Now these are conductive pipes, and we haven't gone over these yet, but I'll be going over them soon because they're very handy. But just for now, I'll give you a brief explanation where instead of one steam engine per refinery, I've now got lots of steam engines per multiple refineries. So you know, it's not all of these each. The power's split along this cable. Now this blue little line that appears here, oh, if I get some flies. The blue bar indicates electricity. And so we've got a wooden conductive cable attached to some stone conductive cables, and basically all the energy that these steam engines produce gets turned into electrical energy, and then it gets used in this pipe to power the refineries. And then just back here I've got some redstone wizardry, which I am avoiding like crazy because the amount of red power stuff, it's just unfathomable at the moment. I honestly can't see a way that it's not going to take like 100 episodes. So I'll get round to it. But thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you've learned some things. And thanks for watching. There'll be a subscribe button at the top. I would much appreciate it if you subscribed, told your friends. And thanks for watching. Catch you later, guys.